859 words, within the 5% tolerance, 855 945. Script is ready at ~brain fuel glucose script, txt. Here it is. Right now, deep inside your brain, your hippocampus is quietly erasing memories you haven't even finished forming, and the neuroscientists who study it admit they can't stop it. Every fact you learn today is still fragile, unfinished, a rough draft your brain hasn't decided to keep. And normally, most of it just disappears. But there's a strange trick elite learners exploit to reverse that process after it's already too late. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what it is and why almost no one does it right. Here's what's happening to you specifically tonight. Every time you study a concept, cram for an exam, or absorb something new at work, your brain doesn't save it the way a computer saves a file. It writes it in pencil. That pencil mark sits in your hippocampus for hours, completely vulnerable, waiting to either be traced over in permanent ink or quietly wiped clean. Most people assume the moment they stop paying attention, learning is done. It isn't. The real fight for that memory hasn't even started yet, and the outcome of that fight depends on something almost nobody controls on purpose. Your hippocampus, your brain's filing system, doesn't run on willpower. It runs on fuel, specifically glucose. Turning a fragile, pencil-drawn memory into permanent long-term storage requires your neurons to physically build new proteins and grow new synaptic connections. That construction process is expensive. It burns energy the same hippocampal region is often starved of, especially hours after a meal, late at night, or during a long stretch of focused work. Low fuel means the construction crew shows up short-staffed. The memory sits half-built. And here's the part that should unsettle you. This filing process isn't happening while you're learning. It's happening afterward, while you think you're done, while your attention has already moved somewhere else entirely. And this is where even the experts run out of answers. Memory consolidation is almost entirely unconscious. You cannot consciously will your hippocampus to file something away faster. Neurologists can watch the process on a scan. They can measure the glucose uptake. They can name every protein involved, but they can't reach in and flip it on. There's no supplement, no drug on the market that reliably speeds this up without side effects. The honest answer researchers give, when you press them, is that timing matters more than any pill ever could. And almost everyone gets the timing exactly backward. Here's the part that flips what you were taught. You've probably heard, eat a good breakfast before a big test, fuel up before you study. That advice is largely wrong. Loading up on glucose right before or during learning can actually work against you. A sugar spike pulls blood flow toward digestion, blunts focus, and floods your system with insulin at the exact moment your hippocampus needs to be laser-focused on encoding, not managing a crash. Some high performers have quietly stopped eating before study sessions entirely. Counterintuitive, but the data backs it. Meanwhile, there's a second threat stacked right on top of the first. That fragile, half-written memory doesn't just sit still while it waits to be consolidated. It decays. Every hour that passes without the right conditions, more of it gets lost, and once you fall asleep, an entirely different process takes over, one that can strengthen the wrong details and erase the important ones if the fuel isn't there to guide it. So here's the actual rule, the one almost nobody publishes, because it sounds backward on purpose. The trick isn't feeding your brain before you learn. It's feeding it afterward. Researchers have found something called retrograde facilitation. Give the brain a small dose of glucose shortly after a learning session ends, and it doesn't just fuel what comes next. It reaches backward and strengthens the memory that was just formed. It's like your hippocampus needs a signal, sent after the fact, telling it, that thing you just saw, that one mattered, spend the energy to keep it. High performers who have stumbled onto this pattern will study, close the book, and then, and only then, eat something. Not a feast, a small, fast source of glucose. Time to arrive right as the filing process begins, not while it's trying to focus. Here's how you use this tonight. Learn first on a relatively empty stomach if you can manage it, so your attention stays sharp during encoding. The moment you finish, within roughly 15 to 20 minutes, have a small carbohydrate snack. Juice, fruit. Something simple, not a heavy meal that'll pull blood flow away from the job. Then let it work in the background while you move on with your night. You're not trying to power the learning. You're paying the construction crew to finish the job after you've already walked away. But the hippocampus isn't the only region quietly deciding what you keep and what you lose. There's another structure, closer to the center of your skull, that's been editing your memories this entire time, and it doesn't wait for glucose to do it.